The morning sky over New York blazed with unusual colors. Officer Tom Miller stood on the roof of the police station, coffee cup frozen halfway to his mouth as he watched the strange lights dance across the clouds. In his 20 years of service, he had never seen anything like it. The radio at his belt crackled with confused chatter from other officers reporting similar sightings across the city. He didn't know it yet, but this would be the last peaceful moment Earth would experience for a long time. High above the atmosphere, High Commander Reed of the Galactic Council's enforcement fleet stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Celestial Justice. His thin lips curved into what passed for a smile among his kind as he observed the small blue planet through the ship's viewing screen. "Primitive species," he muttered, his voice carrying across the silent bridge. "They don't even have proper planetary shields." He turned to his second in command. "Begin the containment protocol. Remember, we target only military installations. The Council wants them suppressed, not destroyed." The first missiles streaked through Earth's atmosphere like artificial meteors. Military bases worldwide reported incoming projectiles seconds before their defense systems were overwhelmed. The attacks were precise, devastating, and completely unexpected. At the Pentagon, alarms blared as General Robert Woods rushed through reinforced corridors deep underground. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he barked orders into his secure phone. "Get me the president. And someone tell me how the hell they got past our early warning systems." The alien ships had appeared from nowhere, using technology that made them invisible to Earth's most advanced detection systems. Within minutes, they had disabled major military installations across the globe. Bases in Nevada, Siberia, and the South China Sea went dark almost simultaneously. But High Commander Reed and the Galactic Council had made three critical mistakes. First, they assumed Earth's military power was concentrated in its visible installations. Second, they believed humans would react with panic and submission when faced with superior technology. And third, they gravely underestimated humanity's capacity for retaliation. In a bunker 500 feet beneath the Rocky Mountains, Colonel James Anderson watched the attack unfold on multiple screens. Unlike the chaos above ground, the atmosphere in the bunker was one of grim determination. He pressed a button on his console, connecting him to similar facilities worldwide. "This is exactly what we've been preparing for," he said, his voice steady. "Initiate Protocol Dark Shield. All personnel to battle stations. Radio silence starts now." He turned to his staff. "Let them think they've won. Let them think we're helpless." Around the world, hidden facilities hummed to life. In the depths of the Pacific Ocean, massive doors slowly opened in the seafloor, revealing darkness that concealed much more than water. Beneath the ice of Antarctica, thermal sensors detected increased activity, though satellite scans would show nothing but endless white plains. High Commander Reed reviewed the initial attack reports with satisfaction. 97% of identified military targets neutralized, his tactical officer reported. Minimal civilian casualties. No significant return fire detected. As expected, Reed replied, settling into his command chair. "These humans barely understand space travel. The Council was right to contain them before they could become a real threat. Prepare for Phase 2 of the operation." But even as he spoke those words, deep in their underground facilities, humanity was far from defeated. In a secret room adjacent to Colonel Anderson's command center, a group of scientists and military personnel gathered around a large table. On it lay detailed plans for weapons and defense systems that would soon make the Galactic Council regret their arrogance. Dr. Helen Ross, lead scientist of Project Thunderstrike, traced her finger along a complex diagram. "They think they know everything about us from their orbital scans," she said, a fierce light in her eyes. "They have no idea what we've been developing down here for the past 30 years. Anderson nodded grimly. "Let them think they've won. Operation Thunderstrike remains our ace in the hole." He looked at the assembled team, determination etched on his face. Today they tried to clip humanity's wings. Soon they'll learn that humans don't just fly. We soar through the storm. As the alien ships maintained their orbital positions, confident in their supposed victory, humanity's real strength remained hidden, waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. The Galactic Council was about to learn a harsh lesson. Never underestimate a species that had spent most of its history preparing for war. 3 days after the initial attack, Colonel Anderson stood in the heart of humanity's largest underground base, watching hundreds of personnel move with purpose through the massive cavern. The facility, carved deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, stretched for miles in every direction. Few people had known of its existence before the invasion. Now it served as the nerve center of Earth's resistance. "Status report," he called out to his team. The command center screen showed real-time data from hidden bases worldwide. Major Brian Foster, his head of operations, stepped forward. "The aliens still think they've got us pinned down, sir. Their ships haven't detected any of our underground movements. Project Thunderstrike is at 90% readiness." Anderson nodded, his eyes fixed on a particular screen showing the ocean floor and the submarine bases. "Fully operational, sir. The deep-sea facilities are masked by the natural electromagnetic fields of the oceanic ridges. They can't see a thing." In the orbital blockade above Earth, High Commander Reed was growing frustrated. His ships had maintained position for 3 days, yet something felt wrong. Human resistance had been too weak, too disorganized. His experience told him that any species capable of reaching the early stages of spaceflight should have had better defenses. "Report," he barked at his tactical officer. "Surface scans show minimal military activity, sir. Most of their forces appear to be in disarray." However, the officer hesitated. "Speak freely." "Our deep scans are having trouble penetrating certain areas of their planet. We're detecting unusual energy signatures, but they're masked by natural geological features." Reed dismissed the concern with a wave. "It's their primitive power generation systems, nothing more. Maintain the blockade." Meanwhile, in an undersea base off the coast of South America, Dr. Helen Ross worked with her team to put the finishing touches on humanity's secret weapon. The massive chamber housing Project Thunderstrike hummed with energy. 30 years of reverse engineering alien technology had led to this moment. "Run the final diagnostic," she ordered. The device before them looked deceptively simple, a sleek, cylindrical object about the size of a bus. But inside it contained technology that would change the course of the war. "All systems green," reported her assistant, Dr. Tom Parker. "The quantum field generator is stable. Shield penetration capability at maximum efficiency." Ross allowed herself a small smile. They think their shields are impenetrable. They're about to learn otherwise. Back in the mountain base, Colonel Anderson received the news he'd been waiting for. All facilities were ready. Operation Thunderstrike could begin at any time. He opened a secure channel to all hidden bases worldwide. "Listen up, everyone. For 3 decades, we've prepared for this day. When those ships appeared above our cities, they thought they were dealing with a primitive species. They expected us to bend the knee." He paused, looking at the determined faces around him. "But humanity doesn't kneel. We learn. We adapt. We fight back." In bases across the globe, soldiers and scientists stood ready. Beneath the oceans, advanced submarines powered up their engines. In underground hangars, pilots climbed into aircraft unlike anything the public had ever seen. Major Foster approached Anderson with a tablet. "Sir, we're detecting increased activity in the alien fleet. They're starting to move into attack formation." Anderson's expression hardened. "Good. Let them come closer. Sound general quarters. All personnel to battle stations." Alarms began to sound throughout the facility. The massive underground base transformed from a hive of activity into a well-oiled war machine. Engineers ran final checks on their equipment. Soldiers moved to their assigned positions. Scientists monitored their instruments with intense focus. High above, completely unaware of what awaited them, High Commander Reed gave the order to begin the next phase of their attack. His ships moved into position, their weapons charging for what he believed would be the final subjugation of Earth. "These humans will learn their place in the galaxy," he declared to his bridge crew. "They should be grateful we're only containing them, not destroying them entirely." But in the depths of Earth's oceans and mountains, humanity's real powers stirred. Project Thunderstrike was about to show the Galactic Council exactly how much they had underestimated the human race. The time for hiding was over. The time for retaliation had begun. Captain Lisa Walker stood on the bridge of the EDS Avenger, Earth's most advanced warship, hidden in the shadow of Saturn's rings. Around her, 20 other ships of Earth's secret space fleet lay waiting. To any casual observer, they would appear to be nothing more than chunks of ice and rock among thousands of others. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying across the silent bridge. "All systems nominal, Captain," replied First Officer Mike Davis. "The ring's magnetic field is masking our energy signatures perfectly. The alien fleet hasn't detected us." Walker nodded, her eyes fixed on the tactical display showing Earth's solar system. The Galactic Council's ships still maintained their blockade, completely unaware of the threat gathering at the edge of the solar system. 30 years, she muttered. 30 years since that crashed ship gave us our first glimpse of their technology. They think we're still playing with chemical rockets. The fleet represented humanity's greatest secret. When an alien scout ship had crashed in the Arctic 3 decades ago, Earth's governments had made a unanimous decision. Keep everything hidden, learn everything possible, and prepare for the day they would need to defend themselves. Deep in the Avenger's engine room, Chief Engineer John Roberts performed final checks on the ship's power core. The technology was a hybrid of human innovation and reversed-engineered alien systems. "Beautiful thing about their tech," he said to his assistant, "is they never expected anyone to modify it this way. They think in straight lines. We think around corners." The ship's quantum drive hummed quietly, operating at frequencies the Council's sensors weren't designed to detect. It was just one of many advantages they had developed by thinking differently about alien technology. On the Council's flagship, High Commander Reed received concerning reports. Their long-range scans of the outer solar system were showing irregular patterns in Saturn's rings. "Probably just magnetic interference," his science officer suggested. "These primitive systems are full of natural anomalies." Reed wasn't so sure. Something about this whole operation had felt wrong from the start. "Launch probe drones. I want detailed scans of the entire system." Back on the Avenger, alarms quietly sounded. "Captain," Davis reported, detecting multiple probe drones leaving the Council fleet. "They're heading toward the outer system." Walker smiled. This was what they had been waiting for. "Send the signal to all ships. Operation Ghost Fleet is go." Throughout the hidden fleet, crews sprang into action. Engineers activated systems that had been dormant for days. Weapons officers powered up arrays that no alien had ever seen before. The ships began to move, still cloaked by the ring's natural interference. "They're about to learn that humanity didn't just sit around for 30 years, Walker announced to her crew. "We studied, we adapted, we improved. And now we're going to show them exactly what we can do." The probe drones approached Saturn, their sensors sweeping the rings. At first, they detected nothing unusual. Then, suddenly, their readings went haywire. Before they could transmit a warning, precision strikes from Earth's ships reduced them to space debris. "All drones have gone dark," reported Reed's tactical officer, panic evident in his voice. "Impossible," Reed snapped. "They're just malfunctioning from the magnetic interference. These humans don't behave." His words were cut short as new contacts appeared on their sensors. 20 warships, emerging from Saturn's rings like ghosts materializing from the darkness. Their design was unlike anything in the Council's database, incorporating both human and alien elements in ways the Council had never imagined. "This is Captain Lisa Walker of the Earth Defense Ship Avenger." Her transmission cut across all frequencies. "You came to our system believing us helpless. You thought you could contain us, control us, keep us trapped on our world." She paused, letting her words sink in. That was your first mistake. Now you're about to see what humanity can really do. The hidden fleet moved into attack formation, their hybrid weapons powered up and ready. 30 years of preparation, innovation, and determination were about to be unleashed. The Galactic Council was about to learn that humanity had not only mastered their technology, they had surpassed it. High Commander Reed watched in disbelief as Earth's hidden fleet approached his position. His tactical display showed 20 ships of unknown configuration, moving in perfect formation, their design a disturbing blend of human and Council technology. "Impossible," he muttered, gripping his command chair. "All ships, battle stations, raise shields to maximum power." But Captain Lisa Walker had been waiting for exactly this response. On the bridge of the Avenger, she gave a slight nod to her weapons officer. "Execute Pattern Alpha. Show them what Project Thunderstrike can do." The Earth fleet split into 3 groups, moving with a speed and precision that caught the alien forces completely off guard. From the undersea bases on Earth, Colonel Anderson watched the battle unfold on his tactical screens. "Launch our surface response," he ordered. "Let's give them a fight they'll never forget." The first shot of humanity's counterattack came not from the ships near Saturn, but from Earth itself. Hidden missile silos beneath the ocean floor opened, launching projectiles that looked like normal nuclear weapons. The Council ships easily intercepted them with their energy shields, exactly as planned. "Enemy shields holding," reported Davis on the Avenger. "They took the bait, Captain." Walker allowed herself a small smile. Now for the real show. "All ships, activate Thunderstrike protocols." What the Council didn't know was that the intercepted missiles had released clouds of specially engineered particles, now spreading through their shield grid. On Earth, Dr. Helen Ross watched her instruments with intense focus. "Particle saturation at 60%, she reported. "Shield frequencies are being disrupted." The Council ships suddenly found their supposedly impenetrable shields flickering. Reed's face showed real fear for the first time. "What's happening? How are they doing this?" "Their shields operate on a predictable frequency," Walker explained to her crew as they moved into attack position. 30 years of studying that crashed ship taught us how to disrupt it. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to think differently." The Earth fleet opened fire with their main weapons. The hybrid technology they developed didn't try to overpower the alien shields. Instead, it slipped through the disrupted frequencies like water through a sieve. The first volley struck 3 Council ships directly, causing massive damage. "Impossible," Reed shouted as his flagship shuddered from a near miss. "Return fire. Show these primitives the true power of the Council." But the Council ships had never faced an enemy that could penetrate their shields. Their entire combat doctrine was based on the assumption of shield superiority. As their defenses failed, panic spread through their ranks. From the ocean depths, Earth's submarines launched a second wave of missiles, this time targeting the Council ships' now vulnerable engines. The alien fleet's formation began to break apart as ships tried to evade attacks coming from both above and below. "They're running," Davis announced triumphantly as several Council ships began to retreat. But Walker wasn't finished. "Not yet, they're not. All ships, execute Pattern Omega. Don't let them reach the wormhole gate." The Earth fleet moved with practiced precision, cutting off the Council ship's escape route. In the mountain base, Anderson watched with satisfaction. "Send word to our friend in the Council. It's time for Phase 2. The battle had lasted less than an hour, but its outcome would echo across the galaxy. 5 Council ships had been destroyed, 7 severely damaged, and the rest were trapped between Earth's fleet and the planet's surface defenses. High Commander Reed's flagship listed helplessly, its main power core breached. "How?" Reed demanded as his bridge crew fought to maintain basic systems. "How did they advance so far without us knowing?" The answer came in a transmission from the Avenger. "You assumed that because we were younger, we were inferior." Walker's voice carried across all frequencies. "You never considered that we might learn from your technology and improve it. Humanity doesn't just copy, we innovate. As the remaining council ships surrendered one by one, the message was clear. Humanity was no longer a species to be contained. They had become a force to be reckoned with, and this was only their first strike. The great chamber of the Galactic Council erupted in chaos. News of the fleet's defeat had spread quickly, and now hundreds of representatives from different species argued loudly among themselves. At the center of the storm stood Representative Mark Thompson, Earth's secret observer, who had spent the last 5 years gathering evidence while posing as a minor trade official from another world. "Order. We will have order," shouted Council Leader Ben, his voice booming across the chamber. The room gradually fell silent, all eyes turning to Thompson. "What I am about to show you," Thompson said, his voice steady, "will reveal the true reason behind the attack on Earth." He activated a holographic display in the center of the chamber. These are records of illegal mining operations in protected systems, all controlled by a group of high-ranking council members. The display showed detailed records, shipping manifests, and banking transactions. Council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats as more evidence appeared. "Earth wasn't attacked because we were dangerous," Thompson continued. "We were attacked because we were getting too close to discovering these operations. Our deep space telescopes had already detected unusual activity in these systems." In the front row, 3 council members tried to slip quietly toward the exits. Security forces moved to block their path. When our scientists began analyzing the energy signatures from these operations, Thompson explained, certain council members realized we would soon discover their illegal activities. They pushed for the attack on Earth not to contain us, but to silence us. On a secure channel, Colonel Anderson watched the proceedings from Earth. "Perfect timing," he said to Captain Walker, who was monitoring from her ship. "While they're distracted with this revelation, our forces are moving into position near their key wormhole gates." Walker nodded on the video feed. "The Council's corruption runs deeper than even we expected. How many systems have they been exploiting?" "At least 12. Thompson's voice joined their conversation through a hidden communicator. "And those are just the ones we know about. The evidence I'm presenting is causing quite a stir-up here." Back in the council chamber, the holographic display showed footage of council ships stripping resources from worlds that were supposed to be protected nature preserves. More council members began to look uncomfortable as they realized the scale of the corruption. "These actions violate the council's most sacred laws," Thompson declared. "The attack on Earth wasn't about protecting the galaxy from a dangerous species. It was about protecting criminals who happened to hold high office." Council Leader Ben, who had been studying the evidence with growing concern, stood up. "In light of these revelations, I call for an immediate vote of no confidence in the accused council members. Furthermore, I propose a full investigation into all council activities of the past 20 years." The chamber erupted again, but this time with shouts of agreement. The corrupt council members who had orchestrated the attack on Earth found themselves surrounded by security forces. "You don't understand what you're doing," one of them shouted as he was led away. "Earth is still a threat. They must be contained." Thompson watched them go with satisfaction. On his secure channel, he spoke quietly to Anderson and Walker. "Phase 2 is complete. The Council is in disarray, just as we planned. Their military won't know who to take orders from now." "Perfect," Anderson replied. "Begin Phase 3. Captain Walker, you have a go." As chaos continued in the council chamber, Earth's fleet began its next move. With the council's political structure crumbling and their military leadership confused, humanity's carefully planned retaliation entered its next stage. Thompson took his seat, allowing himself a small smile. The corrupt council members had never imagined that Earth had agents in place years before their attack. They had underestimated not just humanity's military capabilities, but also their foresight and patience. The game was far from over, but Earth had just secured a crucial advantage. The political upheaval would ensure that no unified response could be mounted against humanity's next moves. The galaxy was about to change, and humanity was holding all the right cards. With the Galactic Council in chaos, Captain Lisa Walker led Earth's fleet toward their next target, the massive wormhole gate that connected this sector of space to the rest of the galaxy. The structure dwarfed her ships, its ring-shaped form crackling with energy as it maintained the artificial passage through space. Status report, she commanded, standing on the Avengers Bridge. Council forces are scattered and confused. First Officer Davis reported, their chain of command is broken. Some ships are following old orders to protect the gate. Others are refusing to engage without clear authority. Walker nodded. Just as we planned. Begin Phase 3. The Earth fleet split into 3 groups, using the same tactics that had proved so effective in their first battle. But this time, they had an even bigger surprise waiting. In the mountain base on Earth, Colonel Anderson watched the operation unfold. Launch the drones, he ordered. Across Earth's hidden bases, thousands of small automated craft lifted off, each carrying a modified version of the Thunderstrike technology. The Council ships guarding the wormhole gate never saw the drones coming. The tiny craft slipped through their sensor nets, their signatures masked by the gate's own energy field. By the time the aliens detected the threat, it was too late. Drone swarm deploying, Davis announced. Shield disruption field at maximum power. The drones surrounded the massive gate, creating a web of energy that interfered with both the Council ship's shields and the gate's own protective barriers. The alien vessels found themselves suddenly vulnerable, their superior technology rendered useless by human ingenuity. This is impossible, the Council gate commander transmitted. Our shields are failing. How are they doing this? Walker's voice came back over the communication channels. You built your technology to be perfect, unchanging, reliable. But humans, we adapt. We improve. We find ways to make things work better. The Earth fleet moved in, their weapons precisely targeting the Council ships' now exposed weak points. One by one, the alien vessels either surrendered or retreated, leaving the strategic wormhole gate under human control. Back in the Council chambers, Representative Thompson watched through secure feeds as human forces secured more gates across the sector. The Council's military doctrine is falling apart, he reported to Anderson. They've never faced an enemy who could adapt so quickly to their tactics. On the Avengers Bridge, Walker received reports of similar successes from other Earth fleet groups. Their ships, crewed by humans who understood both Council technology and its limitations, were outmaneuvering the larger but less flexible alien forces at every turn. Captain, Davis called out, we're receiving surrender signals from 3 more Council battle groups. They're requesting terms. Walker allowed herself a small smile. Tell them their crews will be treated fairly if they power down their weapons and accept Earth's authority over the gates. In his mountain base, Anderson reviewed the strategic situation. Human forces now controlled key points throughout the sector, thanks to their combination of innovative technology and unpredictable tactics. The Council's rigid military structure, designed to maintain order rather than adapt to new threats, was proving to be its own worst enemy. This is what they never understood about us, he said to his staff. Humans don't just fight with weapons. We fight with creativity, with innovation, with the ability to see solutions where others see only problems. The tactical displays showed more Council ships surrendering or retreating. Earth's forces, despite being outnumbered, had achieved in hours what the Council had thought impossible. They had taken control of the sector's primary transportation network. Send word to all Earth forces, Walker commanded. Phase 3 is complete. The gates are ours. She turned to her crew, pride evident in her voice. Today we've shown the galaxy that humanity isn't just another species to be contained or controlled. We're a force that will help reshape the galaxy into something better. As the last Council ships in the sector either surrendered or fled, the message was clear. The tables had truly turned. Humanity had gone from being the target of containment to becoming a major power in galactic affairs, and they had done it not just through force, but through innovation adaptation, and the uniquely human ability to think beyond established limits. 1 month after Earth's forces seized control of the wormhole gates, the Great Chamber of the Galactic Council looked very different. Where once corruption and arrogance had ruled, now representatives from Earth sat alongside alien delegates, working to forge a new future for the galaxy. Colonel Anderson, now Earth's chief military representative, stood at the central podium. Captain Walker and Representative Thompson flanked him as he addressed the assembled species. "We didn't come here seeking revenge," Anderson began, his voice carrying across the silent chamber. "We came seeking justice, not just for Earth, but for all species who have suffered under corrupt leadership." The evidence Thompson had gathered had revealed far more than anyone expected. Dozens of developing worlds had been exploited, their resources stolen by corrupt council members. Some species had even been deliberately kept from advancing, just as Earth had nearly been. "Today, we propose a new structure for the Galactic Council," Anderson continued, "one with checks and balances, one where no single group can hold too much power, one where every species, whether they've had space travel for 1,000 years or a single day, has a voice." In the audience, Council Leader Ben nodded approvingly. He had proven to be one of the few honest leaders, and had worked closely with Earth's representatives to expose and remove corrupt officials. Captain Walker stepped forward to present the military reforms. "The Council's fleet will be reorganized," she announced. "No longer will it serve as a tool of oppression. Instead, it will protect developing worlds and ensure fair treatment for all species." The changes were already visible. Human engineers worked alongside alien technicians, sharing their innovations. The hybrid technology that had proven so effective in battle was now being adapted for peaceful purposes, improving everything from medical equipment to transportation systems. But perhaps most importantly, Thompson added, taking his turn at the podium, "We're implementing new laws to protect developing civilizations. No more will advanced species be allowed to exploit or contain those who are just beginning their journey to the stars." The chamber erupted in applause. Many species had long wished for such changes, but had never had the power to make them happen. Earth's unexpected victory had created an opportunity for reform that many had thought impossible. In orbit above the Council homeworld, the Earth ship Avenger held position alongside vessels from a dozen different species. Its hybrid technology was no longer a secret weapon, but a symbol of what could be achieved when different cultures worked together. "The corrupt officials who ordered the attack on Earth will face trial," Anderson continued. "But we propose they be judged not by us, but by a panel representing all Council species. Justice must be fair and transparent." As he spoke, screens around the chamber showed the changes already taking place. Exploited worlds were receiving aid and technology to help them recover. The wormhole gates, once used to support illegal operations, now carried relief supplies and peaceful trade. Walker smiled as she watched former enemies working together on shared projects. "They thought containing us would make the galaxy safer," she said quietly to Thompson. "Instead, setting us free made it better." "Humanity's greatest strength was never our weapons or our technology," Thompson replied. "It was our ability to imagine a better way of doing things and our determination to make it happen." Anderson raised his hand for attention one final time. "Let this be remembered not as the day Earth defeated the Council, but as the day the galaxy chose a new path. Together, we can build something greater than any single species could achieve alone." The chamber filled with cheers and applause. Representatives from hundreds of worlds, some who had been bitter enemies just weeks before, stood together in support of the new order. As the celebration continued, Earth's leaders shared a quiet moment of pride. They had turned a moment of crisis into an opportunity for positive change. Humanity had not just survived its first major galactic conflict, it had helped forge a better future for all species. The stars themselves seemed brighter that night, as if they too were celebrating the dawn of a new era in galactic history, an era where cooperation replaced containment, where innovation was shared instead of suppressed, and where every species had the chance to reach its full potential. Earth's fierce retaliation had indeed stunned the Galactic Council, but it was humanity's wisdom in victory that would be remembered for generations to come.